J.D. Vance's forceful criticism of Volodymyr Zelensky during their Oval Office meeting underscored the vice president's willingness to take center stage as an assertive political figure rather than a subdued deputy. His exchange with Zelensky was marked by a sharp rebuke, signaling that Vance was not merely playing a supporting role, but actively shaping the administration's stance on foreign policy. While past vice presidents have often taken a backseat in such encounters, Vance's direct challenge to the Ukrainian leader set him apart, reinforcing his reputation as a vocal critic of U.S. support for Kyiv. The confrontation began after Zelensky questioned what kind of diplomacy Vance was referring to when he praised Trump's approach to ending the Ukraine-Russia war. Vance's response, stating that diplomacy should aim to stop Ukraine's destruction, seemed to take Zelensky by surprise. He then went further, asserting that it was inappropriate for the Ukrainian president to debate U.S. foreign policy in front of the American press. The moment was a clear indicator that Vance was not afraid to challenge allies in public settings, a move that immediately resonated with many Republicans. Vance's criticism extended beyond the war itself, as he accused Zelensky of effectively campaigning for Democrats by making high-profile visits to key U.S. states during the 2024 election cycle. His remarks won praise from Republican figures like Lindsey Graham, who commended Vance for standing firm, and Tommy Tuberville, who took an even more extreme stance by ridiculing Zelensky outright. While some lawmakers, such as Mike Lawler, struck a more diplomatic tone, the overall reaction within the GOP suggested that Vance's hardline position was in step with his party's shifting attitude toward Ukraine. The aggressive nature of Vance's critique marked a departure from the more conventional approach taken by previous vice presidents. Traditionally, the role has been defined by loyalty to the president and a focus on diplomacy, with figures like Mike Pence serving as steady, uncontroversial second-in-commands. In contrast, Vance appears to be embracing a more combative, ideological approach, openly challenging long-standing U.S. commitments abroad. His past skepticism toward Ukraine aid, dating back to his 2022 Senate campaign, aligns with his broader effort to redefine America's role on the world stage. This is not the first time Vance has clashed with allies. His speech at the Munich Security Conference last month stunned European officials, as he launched into a scathing critique of European governance, accusing leaders of suppressing free speech and failing to address immigration challenges. Unlike previous vice presidents who sought to reassure allies, Vance seemed intent on making a statement, emphasizing that the U.S. would not rescue governments that had lost the trust of their own people. His subsequent meeting with Germany's far-right AfD leadership only fueled concerns that he was signaling a deeper ideological shift in U.S. foreign policy. With his Oval Office confrontation with Zelensky and his broader critiques of European leaders, Vance appears to be carving out a distinct and independent political identity. Whether he is acting at Trump's direction or positioning himself for a 2028 presidential run remains an open question. Either way, his actions suggest he is more than just Trump's second-in-command. He is an enforcer of a new, more aggressive foreign policy stance that prioritizes nationalist interests over traditional alliances.